Hackverse Tutorial. Episode 4444, OCD, a prison of the mind? Or was it episode 3333? Oh no, what's gonna happen now?
Today we're talking about obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD. Now let's get one thing straight. Liking your spices alphabetized isn't being a little OCD. Real OCD is relentless, exhausting mental loop where your brain's check engine light is stuck on even when the engine is fine.
Lesson 1. The history of OCD. Or rather, what do we know about OCD?
We used to see OCD through a much darker lens. In the 1600s, if you had intrusive, blasphemous thoughts, people called it religious melancholy and thought you were possessed by a demon.
It's one of the South American countries. If they pray to St. Rita, let's say they pray, get me a house. St. Rita will give them a house, but she'll destroy their land with locusts. So she'll do something nice for you, but she'll take something away. So OCD is that same thing. OCD is like, you do something good, you always think something bad's going to happen. Like you can never be happy.
By the mid-1800s, French physicians called it folie avec doute, the folly of doubt, because the patient can never be 100% sure the door is locked or the hands are clean. While Victorian doctors often lumped various nervous issues into a thing called neurasthenia, that was mostly just fatigue. OCD was specifically carved out later as obsessional neurosis. And it wasn't until the 20th century that we realized this isn't a moral failing or just being tired. It's a physical glitch in the brain's error detection hardware. In the early 1970s, OCD was still widely underdiagnosed and poorly misunderstood.
First of all, dickhead, OCD is overblown superstition. That's what OCD is. So you might not think the ball players are OCD because you're too stupid. Superstition is OCD. You're just a dumb fuck. Skull!
A major shift began in the 1980s when OCD was formally defined as its own distinct mental disorder in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. This clearer definition led to a much broader clinical recognition in the 1990s, and for the first time, widespread use of the term OCD in popular culture arose.
Listen and repeat.
Like, for anyone to tell me that my 55 years of suffering from OCD is a lie, I'm sorry, Ava. That's of course I'm going to get defensive because it's been debilitating to me. It's like, again, I can't compare it to someone in a wheelchair. So it's like saying, oh, you could walk. You're just doing that to get Howard's love. Now, I'm not comparing it to being in a wheelchair. I'm just saying, Ava, and this is the point I'm trying to make. I'm lying about having OCD because Howard had it. Meanwhile, I was on medication when I was 18 before I was even with Howard Stern. So why would I be on medication at 18 Afrinil if for OCD, but he's making the leap to say I just decided to have it, because I am trying to have what Howard has.
Thank you.
Adam, why the fuck would I go through years and years of therapy for OCD and I'm on OCD medication for the last 30 years of my life? Why would I lie about that just to fit my narrative? So, I have suffered from OCD all my life. Adam, it has been traumatizing for me. I have finally realized how bad it was when I was playing Little League Baseball and I had to kick my socks up, even though they weren't down, every time I got up at bed. And I realized there was an issue. And it fucked me up in Little League Baseball. And I knew that I had a problem, especially when I was on the beach when I was 5 years old and I couldn't have sand on my hands. And I literally sat on the beach with my family with my hands up like this. Okay.
Lesson B, symptoms and popular faces.
OCD works in a loop. First come the obsessions, unwanted or intrusive thoughts that feel wrong and upsetting. Did I leave the stove on? Did I leave my curling iron on? What if I'm a bad person? The thoughts don't make sense, but they won't let go. Then come the compulsions, checking, washing, repeating things, anything to make the anxiety stop. It works for a moment, then the fear comes back, and the cycle starts again. People think OCD is about cleanliness, but it's really about a brain that won't release a thought once it lands. Howard Hughes was trapped by fear of germs. Howie Mandel talks about it openly. Even Charles Darwin is believed to have struggled with obsessive fears. It's not a lack of intelligence or a weakness, but it's rather intelligence stuck in overdrive with no off switch.
What did we learn? Listen and repeat.
Now, in college, I took a class called Logic, Sets, and Numbers, where I realized every thought, every thought you could negate within, an opposite thought. And I realized that was my OCD. So at 18 years old, I sought a therapist and said, there's something wrong. And they prescribed anafranil.
As we learn from this substitute science teacher, the negation of a logical statement is the same as an intrusive negative thought.
I'm in a stage to learn as much. I was never educated, and now I'm educating myself as much as I can. Knowledge is power, and I got a lot of learning to do, but I've learned to listen more and not speak so much.
I didn't want to have to say this, but this guy's asking, why did it take you 7 minutes to take 2 photos? Okay.
It did take a long time.
I had to turn the phone on, which takes a while. Then, I got to be honest with you, I hate having to admit this, I had an OCD fucking crazy thing. I had to go back and forth, with this same amount of steps I have to do 5 times. 5 fucking times in my bedroom hallway. So that's why. And then I went and got a water. So that's what happened.
Next time, Joey, use the letterbox and don't instead of sellotape.
Yeah. Like I said, I was just trying to say hi, and she goes, "I'll leave the note." I go, "Okay, leave the note." And then, like I said, when he
did it take 20 minutes? What was it? 5 minutes? Maybe 3 minutes?
Maybe 4 minutes.
Yeah,
4 minutes. I got to go to one. I got to go to all across the other side of the house. Go into my bedroom. Then go to the other toilet. Then I got to then I had my OCD thing. I had to go back and forth 5 times and walk a bunch of steps each way. Then I had to go and get a water, and then I came back. Give me a fucking break.
This demonstrates the ritualistic nature of the resulting behavior. As is typical with rituals and compulsions, change is common. This explains why misspellings occur when OCD causes breathing in and out at a specific interval while typing, and why this behavior is never seen again after it is used as an excuse.
Stuttering John the Drunken Puppet, thanks for the $2. You misspelled yesterday's show, TESJ podcast. Go fuck yourself. Wow. It's so funny that that he's going to call me out for a misspelling. I'm going to entertain it only because why not? I had this thing when I would type the title of the show where I'd have to only take one breath in. But I have to keep on breathing while I typed it. So imagine typing the Stuttering John, but you still have to be one breath. This is my OCD. So the Stuttering John podcast, period. without stopping breathing, without stopping it, breathing in. Okay. So that's why. So then yesterday I tried a couple times to spell the whole thing out, and I fucking kept fucking it up. Because when you type like that, you're trying to type fast. It's not misspelling. It's just, when you're typing fast, I guess you could call it a misspelling, but it's not like I don't know how to spell it. It's because I'm typing fast because I'm trying to get it all in. Now I just change it to SJ because it's just too long to breathe in that long, especially I type with two fingers. I type with two fingers. So nice try and go fuck yourself. Stuttering John, Drunken Puppet. On air you type fast, on air you type slow. Here, let me do this for you here. Since you don't believe me. Because let me go to notes here, and I'm going to type out. Now, I'm just going to give you an idea how I do this. So here we go. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to breathe in now. Capital T. Got one wrong now. I should have showed you. Okay? I just typed the Stuttering John podcast, but I hit the wrong button instead of the period. Which in the old days I have to go all the way back to do it again. That's how. Do you understand now, dickhead? That's how I get it wrong. Because you have to put capital T, capital S, capital P, capital J, while breathing in. Look, I didn't ask to be OCD. It was given to me. Spider McGee, you overcame your breathing typing OCD. Congrats. No, I only do that when I write the show title. I mean the SJ podcast. I just shortened it. Everybody knows what the fuck the name of it is.
Lesson Roman numeral 3, diagnosis. A very common question is how OCD can be diagnosed. Can we simply do a brain scan to identify OCD in patients? Let us hear what our common doctor has to say about this. Steve, isn't there a blood test or a scan I can get to diagnose my OCD?
The short answer, no, not for a clinical diagnosis. You can't pee in a cup and find OCD markers. So how do we actually diagnose this? Well, we use the DSM-5. It boils down to 4 main pillars: the presence of obsessions, compulsions, or both. Obsessions are the intrusive thoughts. Compulsions are the fixes. They're time-consuming, and this is key. They must take up more than an hour a day.
But it's going to be a fun show today. I'm rejuvenated, got a good night's sleep, and went to my psychiatrist. You have to go every few months so you can keep up your prescriptions so you don't have a bad OCD day, which is just about every day. That's my new name, OCD Day. Daniel Simpson Day, OCD Day.
It has to cause real trouble in your social, work, or personal life.
Jimmy being very standoffish. She's like, yeah, it's weird, this whole thing. Isn't the whole Tonight Show? It's a late night talk show. And Jimmy's like,
Yeah, he was in that mode.
And I knew, and I'm like, and it was my OCD that fucked me up. Because I said, I'm never going to make it down in time. And if I go down in time and I tell Debbie, he's going to fuck with him, I'm telling you right now, he's going to fuck with him. And I knew what he was going to do because he's a radio guy. I'm a radio guy. I knew he was going to fuck with him. But I was upstairs, like all the writers were upstairs. And you'd have to fucking run down the stairs, get to the stage. By the time I got there, it probably would have started.
Yeah, and you kind of just, at that point, have to let it happen.
And it was my friend, my good friend, that was a segment producer, that booked Jimmy.
Yeah.
So he would have been pissed if I was wrong.
It's got to be not substance related. We have to make sure it's not caused by a drug or another medical condition.
James O'Sullivan, thanks for the $5. I never did drugs and sometimes feel like I missed out. What was doing coke like? What's your favorite drug, John? Well, I'll wait till Gail. No, I'm only kidding. I like coke. It's just, like if you could drink 10 beers, right? And that's it. You kind of like, I'm done. You do coke, you could drink 20. It's like for some reason it just, you're on and if it's good coke, you're horny as shit. Me and my ex-girlfriend, forget it, Jessica. We would just bang everywhere, every night. I mean, I'm talking everything, bondage and everything. So yeah, that would be my favorite drug, I guess. But I try not to do it often because coming down on it is horrible, and it's like you just stole. And me being OCD, it's not good. So I don't recommend it to anybody. I don't recommend any drugs at all. At all. Weed, okay. Weed, okay. In fact, me and Hitman Dan are going to go by the dispensary and get some gummies. I turned him on to gummies for his pain. Tagrom, Vince and AC John exhibit any OCD behaviors. I hide it very well. I don't know if Vince can detect it.
Well, you say that when you're drunk or high or on
it doesn't go away.
Something else.
It's still there.
Well, you're right. His OCD kept him up all night for some reason. And actually, Dan caught OCD, and so did Dawn for some reason. And his OCD.
Why is your Swam home smaller than Lady K's home? I don't know, but he's on a block that is the building a fucking gas station on. Yankee fan for life. Who's the quack to hook you up with OCD pills? Your mother.
The diagnosis is still based on the clinical interview. We use tools like the Yale-Brown Obsessive Compulsive Scale. It's basically a deep dive survey that measures how much time your obsessions take up and how much they interfere with your life.
This sounds very complicated and like medical mumbo-jumbo to me. Isn't there a simpler and clearer way to avoid misdiagnosis?
Well, we do rule out testing. I might order blood work to check for thyroid dysfunction or electrolyte imbalances that can mimic anxiety. A standard MRI or CT is usually normal in OCD patients. It won't show the loop because these are static pictures. The exception is in children. We look for a thing called PANDA syndrome, which is pediatric autoimmune neuropsychiatric disorders associated with streptococcal infections. That's where a simple strep infection triggers an autoimmune attack on the brain, causing sudden onset of OCD. In that case, we do a test for strep antibodies.
That still sounds like a very nuanced and difficult approach to me. So we should ask a real expert about it.
I am on the extreme spectrum of OCD. When they viewed my brain at Columbia University, in their medical department, their doctors, when they saw the amount of activity in the frontal lobe of the OCD brain, if you want to read about it, read a book called Brain Lock. When they saw how serious my OCD was, they said it was off the charts. Off the charts. That's how bad my OCD is.
See, our expert can confirm that a brain scan is enough to not only show if we have OCD, but also how much OCD we have. Listen and repeat.
There you go.
I mean, I have the worst form of OCD. You understand? I went to Columbia and they did like a brain scan. They said the ganglia, like everything in my frontal lobe is off the charts. They said, you are off the charts OCD. And I still managed to be successful. Scola!
And then some. 100%.
Lesson D, treatment. Now that our brain scan showed that we have OCD and it can only be OCD and not some pesky ADHD or some common neurotic behavior, or negative thoughts we might have. How do we treat this debilitating disease?
One part of the common treatment method is pharmacology. Typically, high-dose SSRIs or selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors to help dial down the baseline noise in the nervous system. But there are other drugs. If the SSRIs aren't cutting it, we usually look at clomipramine, which is also known as anafranil. It's a tricyclic antidepressant from the 1960s, and for a long time it was the only game in town. Some meta-analyses suggest it's even more powerful than the SSRIs because it hits serotonin and norepinephrine in the brain. But it's a dirty drug. It comes with a heavier side effect profile, including dry mouth, sedation, and risk of seizures at high doses. We often use it as a second-line drug.
Research shows that SSRI are not always as effective as advertised, so are there drugs that can improve the results of an SSRI treatment?
Sometimes we don't switch drugs, we add a booster. We often add low doses of atypical antipsychotics like risperidone or aripiprazole. These modulate dopamine. We think OCD may involve a dopamine storm in the basal ganglia, part of the brain, and these drugs help quiet that down so the SSRI can do its job.
So, pharmacological treatment is the only option for OCD. But wait a minute, didn't I hear you say this is only one part of the treatment?
Yeah, the gold standard in OCD treatment is actually exposure and response prevention. We expose the patient to a trigger like a dirty doorknob, and then, the hard part, we don't let you perform the compulsion. It retrains the brain to realize the catastrophe isn't coming.
However, that would mean I would have to learn to change my behavior. That sounds like a lot of effort. I might even learn about triggers of my OCD or talk about going to therapy sessions on a show where I discuss everything I do.
Stop the tough guy act. No, don't. Ain't gonna stop me. Not gonna stop me. Also, let's not forget I'm OCD, so there's every chance in the world I had to step on a certain crack. I do have that a lot too. I remember once I was outside of a liquor store, and I had just bought beers. I hadn't had a beer, or I hadn't drank anything, and I was on the way home, and I stepped, like I was trying to avoid these different squares and the cracks, whatever. And this woman said, "I can't believe that you're going to drive like that." And I'm like, "Ma'am, I haven't had a beer. That's just my OCD. I'm trying to avoid certain boxes." So that's a fact, Jack.
So we learned a lot about the history, diagnosis, and treatment of OCD. So we're probably completely done with that topic, right? Or are people still doing research on this? Any outlook for people with this debilitating OCD that is much worse than any other disease people might have? Lesson next, the new frontier, glutamate modulators.
This is the most exciting area for research. We're moving beyond serotonin and looking at glutamate, the brain's main excitatory chemical. Memantine is usually used for Alzheimer's disease, but it helps regulate glutamate levels. N-acetylcysteine, an over-the-counter supplement often used for Tylenol overdoses, is showing some promise in research for reducing the urge in OCD and hair pulling, also called trichotillomania. There is emerging research on low-dose ketamine infusions for resetting the glutamate pathways in the treatment of resistant OCD.
Okay, so a lot of things we could potentially do for treatment, but I'd rather mix my SSRIs with a bunch of Coors Light as a booster.
I don't think you should be taking Klonopin and drinking, but there you go.
Oh, I haven't today. I ran out. I got to go to the
But you know what's what I find fucked up is that you said you take that Klonopin for your OCD, yeah?
Yeah, we do.
And if you don't take it, you could fucking have a stroke.
A seizure.
Okay, so you started taking a drug that if you stop taking it gives you a seizure. Fuck that, John.
I did
Why
not
would you-
know that when they prescribed it for me.
How can't you wean on yourself?
How the
Is there
fuck
any-
did I know?
Well, you need to speak to your doctor about like weaning yourself off that shit, man.
No, it
How
helps.
can
Clay,
helps you what?
Clay, you have no idea about my OCD. It's awful.
Mind over matter. My anxiety's awful,
It's
John.
easy for you to say.
It is. I've probably got a bit of
I just put it back in my
ADHD.
book.
Yeah. Oh dear. School.
School. Oh, while I drink my light beer, I drink water, and which I believe is diluting the alcohol, which in turn then is why my liver is still in good shape.
Doesn't help that you mix it with Klonopin and all that shit. But there you go. That's not a great decision to make, is it?
First of all, Clay, the Klonopin I take is only 0.5. It's
Doesn't matter.
very
Would your
small.
doctor recommend you do that?
0.5, yes, because it helps with the OCD. You see.
Yeah, but he wouldn't recommend. Okay, whatever.
We already know that we can just run a brain scan to find out if you have OCD and how much OCD you have. So there are no more questions about the diagnosis.
Josh and Kim Johnson, I have an answer for this, and it's an OCD related one. And you might not believe it, but I know that a lot of you who do follow this program know that I have very bad OCD. I mean, really bad. When I went to Columbia and they took a brain scan of me, they said the ganglia, whatever you call it, going on. I don't think it's ganglia. Synapses. I forget what they said, but it's fucking. They've never seen it before. That's how massive the OCD is. Nobody would brag about being OCD. I mean, that would be the most ridiculous thing. Nobody would brag about being on OCD meds. Howie Mandel and I would talk about OCD ad nauseum when he was a guest on The Tonight Show. I mean, obviously, and like I told you, I went to Columbia, your alma mater, and they did a brain scan of my brain, and they said it was the highest.
Where the fuck is it?
They said I was the highest of OCD spectrum. It was that high because because they look at your whole brain, dude. Why would I lie about being OCD? Like, why?
Sympathy from it. You want to use it as an excuse when things go wrong. I mean, just possible. I don't know if they're true or not.
Come on, Vince.
Lesson Future: Improving Precision in Diagnosis and Treatment of Mental Disorders. Wait, why are we talking about this? I thought we were done.
This is where it gets exciting. We're moving toward precision psychiatry. Using functional MRI, we can actually see the hyperactivity in the corticostriatothalamo-cortical circuit. It's the brain's worry loop caught on camera. The first functional magnetic resonance imaging study of obsessive-compulsive disorder was published in 1996 by researchers at Massachusetts General Hospital. In the future, we'll use deep brain stimulation or transcranial magnetic stimulation to literally zap those overactive circuits into submission. We're fixing the wiring, not just talking about feelings. If you're stuck in the loop, reach out for help. You don't have to live with the check engine light on forever. I'm Dr. Steve, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, no need to hear from this guy again. You should better talk to your primary care physician than listen to some guy online teaching you about OCD. We already know from our expert how debilitating and easy to diagnose OCD can be. Take care of yourself. Don't believe everything you hear on the internet. And again, don't mix SSRIs with alcohol.
Johnny Coxville, thanks for the $2. Is your constant lip licking from OCD? It's gross.
DEng.Lizard?
Therefore, I went and checked it out. Now, I don't think it's a good look for Dr. Steve. And I think he probably regrets doing it.
Now that we have learned more about OCD and have finished our Hackverse tutorial, let's take a closer look at our expert. This will mainly be a compilation of OCD clips without much additional commentary.
I'm very, very clean. I wish my house was the same, but I am a slob. There are two types of OCD. There is the clean one, and there is the dirty one. I remember one of the last girls I dated in LA before my departure was a science teacher from Colorado. And when she came to my condo, the beautiful 2-bedroom in the wonderful area of Canoga Park, and she said, I don't believe you have OCD. And I said, why? She said, because this place is a pigsty. I said, you see, there are two types of OCD. There is the slob type, and there is the neat type. And I am the slob type.
There are countless types of obsessive-compulsive disorder, but typically we recognize 5 categories. Category A, checking. Category 2, contamination or mental contamination. Category next, symmetry and ordering. Category further, ruminations and intrusive thoughts. Category special, hoarding. While hoarding can be an OCD compulsion, some aspects are now considered separate conditions. According to our expert, there are only 2 OCD categories, clean and slop. But who would obsess of their own disease they suffered from their whole life? Our expert might be categorized under ruminations and intrusive thoughts, but let's not forget, intrusive thoughts or stuttering can also indicate generalized anxiety disorder. Also, having prominent figures in one's life with OCD might increase the likelihood of pretending to have it. If OCD runs in the family, GAD can be misdiagnosed, especially for someone who dodges real therapy and relies only on SSRIs. After all, it's all about playing the OCD card.
I mean, what is a mental illness in the DSM? ADD is a mental illness, OCDs. So, like, okay, we all have a disorder, then let's just.
Well, yeah, I'm OCD. I don't think it's a. I think it's a disorder. I don't.
My point is, everyone has something. These aren't disorders. We all just, we're humans.
Nope.
We're different.
What's the saying? Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Or as the old phrase that, of course, Jackie put on his album, normal people are people you don't know well. Normal people are people you don't know that well.
Right. Yeah.
Sam, thanks for the $5. How does someone who can encourage stuttering have so many excuses for his faults? Every time you're exposed as lazy, you have a disease of mental issue. Or mental issue. Look, it's true. Okay. Howard admitted that when he first met Fred, he would love that Fred would pick up all his albums because he suffered from bad OCD. You can't beat this. Stop trying. You're going to continue to embarrass yourself. Super chat after super chat. You can't beat this.
Has it occurred to you that you are mentally ill? Yes. Yes, I have very bad OCD, and that's pretty much the only mental illness that I have. Stutterface Inc. Hey, that was my old corporation. Can you pretend to have Tourette's too? Go fuck yourself. What's that? You're an asshole. What? So anyway, I was hanging out. Grunt!
He used to treat Susanna like total shit, like she was his servant. And he would go on and brag about it. It was
Oh my God. Does Casey not understand comedy? If you would see those episodes, Howard would be in tears. And I usually did it when Baba Booey was running around chasing his kids at my fucking beach. But it was all theater of the mind. Yeah, did it happen? Yeah. But it wasn't like it bothered my wife. We loved each other. She knew I had OCD. There are things I couldn't do. She would pay all the bills. That's why my credit is shit. It's not so bad anymore. But my credit became shit because I relied on my mother and then my wife to do all the bills because my OCD was fucking bad. Bad. So Susanna, being the loving wife that she was, would do stuff for me. And then I would brag about it as part of the bit. But KC doesn't get it because KC is a meathead.
First of all, everything that I said about Howard and Robin in my book is 100% true, accurate, and could be corroborated. And if you want me to, it is all based from my experience there. I do not lie. I'm too OCD to lie. Where Howard lies and says he's cured, I am not cured. I still have OCD, and I don't lie. I don't lie to you, Royce. I don't lie to my kids, and I'm not lying now. This is a bunch of horse shit. I'm amazed. I'm amazed that 15 years of loyal service, and Howard diminishes it to me just being an intern. Howard, the amount of jokes that I wrote for you, and Will and Jason will attest to this, maybe not on the air, maybe not in front of your face, but they saw all the jokes I was writing for you. You remember, Howard, after the on the Channel 9 show when I interviewed the underdog lady all on my own without any of your fucking questions that you never wrote anyway, Jackie and Fred did? But you remember when I interviewed her and Daniel Carver all on my own with my own questions that I wrote? Do you remember then when you asked me to come to the writer's room and write questions for the underdog lady, for the Holly Weird Squares? Do you recall that? I wonder why. If I was so I had no value. Why would you have me come down there, a 24-year-old kid, come down there and help you write questions for the underdog lady? I'll tell you why. Because you knew I was funny. You knew I was talented. And you knew that you could take advantage of me every single chance that you could. Because you knew that I was a fan of yours, and I was happy to be there. And I would do anything you asked. I carved your fucking potatoes. Made sure you got your lunch, your 4 ounces of turkey. And I did that. I paid my dues.
He's a dues payer. You were never on time anyway.
Well, I was when I had to let Howard in.
Okay. No, you weren't. That's why I got the job.
Well, I was for the most. I think I missed like twice. I was late, but for the most part, I was.
I didn't miss once.
Yeah, well, you lived in the city, didn't you?
No, I lived in fucking Canarsie, the opposite end of Manhattan. By JFK, I live.
well, anyway, but for the most part, and I had to cook. I had to prepare Howard's potato. This is all in the fucking book, and then
you did not put that in there.
I gave Steve the job because one time. I was washing the potatoes in the bathroom, because there was no sinks anywhere. Right. And Howard walked into the bathroom and saw me, and he's like, "Oh, you're cleaning my fucking lunch in the toilet?" and I was off potato duty right after that.
Yeah, but where do you think Steve was cleaning them?
Yeah, where'd you clean them?
Yeah, I had to bed them. I just knew when Howard was on the air.
Use the urinal as a back rinse.
But a part of the reason, Stephen, I don't know if you know this, like some of the tasks I would delegate was because of my massive OCD, and I was at my worst.
I realize that now,
Which brings me to the next trivia question, Don and Royce. What drug did Ganji and Grillo give to Howard behind my back when they moved into my place that Howard called me out on the air that I was taking?
What drug? Do you know?
No.
Steve, you remember?
Of course I do.
And what was it?
Prozac.
It was Prozac. And I was... Go ahead.
I just remember you sitting there and you had read some article, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm reading this article on Prozac, and it's like it's a drug. It helps you focus.
It helps.
It's supposed to help your golf game.
No,
it's supposed to like make you intense." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then now it comes out. Then it was like it was like when it first happened. And
yeah, go ahead.
No, and then all of a sudden it became a mental drug.
Yeah, well, I made the excuse on the air when Howard confronted me. I said that it was to help me play guitar better, but the truth was it was for OCD. But to be honest with you, the reason why there was a jar there is I stopped taking Prozac because instead of helping my OCD, I wanted to jump out of the fucking window. It was fucking. It made me suicidal. Well, the thing about Howie Mandel, getting back to my, Luvox and Klonopin, Howie and I, because he's OCD, obviously, we would always, tell each other which medications that we're on like at one point he's on Effexor, I'm on Luvox. I mean, we're both fucked up in the brain, but anyway, that's why, Steve, a lot of times I would delegate shit because just like Howard said in his book about being OCD, like he would love that Fred would pick up all the albums and put them away for him because he was so OCD that he couldn't do that. Which is, there are two types of OCD people. One who are completely clean, like a Felix Unger, or one who's a complete slob, like me. And like I'm a slob because having to throw things out is a fucking whole big ritual for me.
I used to tell people I feel so bad for Susanna because that kid can't tie his shoes.
Oh yeah, I would get Susanna to tie my shoes.
Wait, you're fucking. You don't get people to brush your hair. You get people to fucking do everything. But my favorite was like I had to park your car, which was a goddamn mess. But you used to just like roll down your window and sneeze into your rearview mirror to the point where you couldn't see out of it. It was so disgusting.
Yeah, no.
Because in the water in Boca. Anyway, so some might say that OCD is, well, I know OCD is horrible. I've had plenty of conversations with Howie Mandel. It's bad. Now, I've managed to overcome it in the way that I could still be successful and do everything that I would want to do. But some people can't. Now, I'm a grown man, obviously. I'm a 60-year-old man. Now, I know, ladies. I know. I look 40. I know. I know. I am as handsome as I was 20 years ago. The body couldn't be in better shape. I mean, it's in the gym, pounding it yesterday. I'll be in the gym tomorrow. I took off today because it'd be cloudy. It'd be depressing. And I don't like when it's cloudy. The Duke gets controlled by the weather sometimes, and it's rainy, and it's just not conducive to any I'm trying to think of the word, any motivational behavior. And I didn't feel like hitting the gym today, but to make up for my procrastination, I will do it tomorrow. that's another thing the Duke has to deal with. I do have OCD, and with that comes an unbelievable allegiance to rituals. And one of them is I have to at least attend the gym 3 times a week. It is one of those things. And last week, I only did 2 days a week because I was busy with gifts and such, which is really throws the Duke off. And so I do have to do the 3 times a week. So I got 1 done, 2 to go. I'll do Christmas Eve, probably skip Christmas Day, and then the day after. Wahapa! Wahapa! With OCD, routine should look like a bodybuilder. I do. You want to see me with my shirt off? Trust me. Trust me. I am fucking a stud. Belly's down, arms are up. Chest is up. I mean, right now they're a little sore. Let's see what else is sore. Biceps are a little sore. Tries. Shoulders. Right here. Oh, that, I mean, let's face it. Yeah, if you felt how hard I am, man. But enough about my dick. I am the Duke. Look at those, sunflower. Come on, baby. I got to hit the gym hard tomorrow. I only did 2 days this week, which really makes me a little antsy OCD-wise. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not supposed to have OCD, right? That's supposed to be... No, it does bother me. I like to do at least 3 times a week. And then I get anxious if I don't. But I haven't been to a gym I have. I've been to 24-hour fitness, and then I was like, I fucking hate going there because it's so you have to get in an elevator to go up to the gym. Fuck that. It's too much. By the time you fucking get there, you're exhausted.
Yeah, plus you might run into someone like Ray DeVito, and you'll be questioning your life choices.
But you know what? There is hot chicks at the gym, and I think I'm going to make it a steady, a more... I was thinking about going tomorrow, but like judging by how I feel right now, I might have to take a day off, man. Because when I work out, I don't work out light, Quad. I hit it hard, and I'm fucking so OCD. I'm like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I won't, And if I feel it's too light, I keep upping it, motherfucker. You would love to work out, man. You just like I'm fucking screaming. Fuck you!
Fuck you, Melton.
Fuck you, Patty. I'm coming. Hunchback-a-mania. First of all, that's the funniest thing. I never said I was going to be at Hunchback-a-mania. I said I was coming to Vegas. And if I said I was coming to Hackverse, then I was just playing around. But I am coming to Vegas.
No, you said Vegas. You said you're going to stop by someone's house that you said house. You said you didn't say Hackmania. You just said you were going to Vegas to see a few people. That's exactly what you said.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Toughen up, Duke. Ava. I don't know.
I don't cry when people give me shit for being trans. He doesn't cry when people give him shit for that. But I'm not him, and I just empathize with what he has to go through. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, isn't that being a little disingenuous when it comes to me suffering from OCD?
It's not the same as him being a quadriplegic.
Oh, really? Really?
Really? Yeah.
No, well, that's you to say that his...
Have you thought about... This is what made me cry. Can I say this, Quad? I know it's uncomfortable for you. But John, have you thought about what the mechanics are for him every day? What he has to go through? How are you comparing that to being OCD? It's horrible.
All right. And so OCD people are just... That's all nonsense.
No, it's not black or white. It's there's people struggle for different reasons. I'm just saying, you can't equate being OCD with being quadriplegic.
Really?
Yeah.
Mental where people can't get up out of a chair because their mind will not let them.
He literally cannot get out of a chair.
Yeah. Either way, OCD.
What the fuck? What are you talking about?
My mind just don't work.
Because you don't understand how debilitating.
I understand OCD. Trust me, I'm fascinated by OCD.
Oh, really?
I do.
Because unless you had it, then you would understand. When
It's
you
not
have
the same as being quadriplegic.
I'm not saying it's the same, but it's equally.
So why are you comparing? No, you're saying equally then.
I'm gonna jump off. Jeez,
no,
you two, I swear. Stop.
No, I understand, and I believe me, I have expressed incredible fucking quad. How would you say? I was very. It sucks that you're a quadriplegic, and I've been very sympathetic in that form. I'm just saying to say that OCD is bullshit is.
I didn't say it's bullshit. I said it's not like analogous in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, and we'll tell those people who can't get out of a bathroom. David Lee Braw.
Oh, really?
I have to turn lights off 3 times in a row, but quad can't walk. I feel you, John. I'm not saying that. I understand. One of my best friends was a quadriplegic, Ava, and Quad and I have fucking cried on this show with Quad about my friend Kevin, who I loved so much, and he fucking couldn't fucking walk. And that's
good that we can agree that we shouldn't make fun of people that are quadriplegic.
Yes, we can.
For that, we can make fun of them for like
and we can also
them making phone calls to the police.
And we could also agree people shouldn't phone bomb somebody to
those are mutually exclusive.
Channel taken down.
All right, okay. They're not mutually exclusive.
My legs don't work. My phone does. We're good.
John the Lion, Drunken Dwarf. Thanks for Doug. Sympathetic. Enjoy your wheelchair prison. Yeah, I said it once.
you.
I said it once, and that's it.
Okay.
You know, and I'll apologize to you, Qual, but I think you and I already know why I did it.
What?
Reverend
I
Ray
drew first blood.
You drew first blood.
I drew first blood.
John, would you trade your OCD for your legs? I don't know. OCD is not a great thing to have. Jerry Maine, you don't have OCD, John, really? You know, I count the steps coming out of this fucking room every day. Do you know I count how many times I wash my hair? Do you know that every second of my life is counting and doing shit like this? I mean,
do you want me to go down that list and point out the things that he physically cannot do, even if he had a compulsion to do so?
I'm not saying it's the same, but it's still equally a disability. The Tommy Jordan Quad can never understand your OCD struggle. No, nobody can. You know, that's
no.
I'm trying to. That's why I'm listening.
No,
That's why
no.
I'm not
That's
talking. I'm listening. I want to hear.
Look, I'm going to just say this. When I was with my therapist, and I said, I feel bad. I said, because I can walk. I said, I am fucking in a living hell. I'm in a prison, but I can walk, and I feel bad.
Not a wheelchair prison.
But I feel bad that I'm in here complaining or talking about my thing when there are people that can walk, and the people that can't walk, people can't see, people can't hear, and I feel like I'm an idiot to be here complaining about this. And my therapist said, why do you every disability, every disorder, you can't measure it like, well, you can walk, that means it has an
all right, you win, John. You're more disabled. You win the disability.
No, but I'm just trying to say it's easy for people to say this affliction is not that bad, but this one is bad.
I don't even want the trophy anymore. You can have it. Fuck it.
I don't.
You never wanted this trophy.
No, I
don't want this special.
He doesn't want this trophy.
And by the way, Quad, you know how caring I was about your disability. I'm not comparing the two. and I'm going to go on record because I know they're going to clip it and say that I'm comparing to. I'm not. You can't walk, and that sucks. And I wish you can. And my buddy Kevin, he tried his hardest to use his money that he got after he got into a pole vaulting accident to hire doctors to come up with a cure. So believe me, when I did I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, what charity did I fucking do it for? The fucking Spinal Cord Society. Thank you, Skull.
Did you know that
counting stairs?
Ah,
no, his disability is worse. I was wrong. I stand corrected. His disability.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it would be like to use numbers all day. That sounds horrible. God, what would I do if I
come
had
on, he
that?
was just
Oh, man.
come on. He didn't apologize. Let's not drag it back into that.
His disability is way worse. I'm not comparing. I'm saying we all have our problems. Remember when somebody got mad at Quad for a long shower? Really? I mean, this is this is gonna go. John was the ultimate victim in Manhattan on 9/11. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Happy Days, 7857. Result of an unsolved trauma. That's OCD. And the sad thing is that therapy can help, but therapy doesn't work on a narcissist. But keep going, John. Yeah, and Quad, I'm not going to even throw in the stuttering part, but I know that would just seem stupid as well. Anyway,
you writing this down, Ava? You're gonna have a long session next time you guys.
I want to move on from this.
The Tommy Jordan Quad, Stuttering John will trade place with you in a second. OCD is real.
We should get Tommy in here because Tommy seems to have some opinions about us.
What I would recommend, Ava, is have you ever seen which is not really the best, but it portrays in a way that that people can it's not as bad, but it's as good as it gets with Jack Nicholson. And
I have seen that one. I have seen that.
So you could see
miraculously.
So you can see how his life is fucking tormented.
I study that shit. No, I understand OCD. I'm fascinated by OCD. I'm just saying you can't compare it to being quadriplegic. Let's not go back down this a bit. No.
And you can't compare it to being blind either. And
no, it's very debilitating. We could actually talk for hours about OCD and how underrepresented it is, and when you look at the problems people have with each other. That's fine. I'm just saying you can't
I'm not trying to say, look, Quad can't walk, and I hate that. But the point being is, don't demean, any kind of fucking thing. And
he wasn't. The Quad wasn't. He porn bombed you, and you got mad, and you said that. That's different.
Yeah, and then you got mad, and you said
I just said, hey, you can't compare those two.
And you said I should be better.
I think you are better than that.
Yeah, but in that moment. Is it
fine.
Okay in that moment that you have one where you're just fucking so angry at somebody?
But I feel like you regret that.
Of course I do. I always.
So why are we arguing?
I don't know.
How many crippled jokes you got in your act, John? How many crippled?
No, it's just great. I mean,
okay, fine. I don't know.
Quad, the Duke delivers, man. I mean, it's always going to be fun when you watch stuff.
What if you had a special called Special, and you could really spell it out for everybody what it is?
But Quad, that's why my show is always fucking interesting. We don't have to all agree. People could have an argument and discussion. I mean, am I ever going to talk to Ab again? No, but we still have a debate. The Tommy Jordan, John, kick him off show. Quad doesn't respect your OCD.
That's good.
Sunflower Dragon. Thanks for the tenor. I love this woman.
Thank you, Sunflower.
John, stop. Don't compare. I dated a Quad for a couple of years. You get no insight. Just being a friend. You can F a girl, John, F Quad, because he's a proud boy. First of all, Quad says he can F a girl, Sunflower Dragon. Can't you, Quad?
Yes. You want to find out, Sunflower Dragon? Where were you, Sunflower Dragon, when I had an erection?
Exactly.
Do you like what?
No, but therefore her argument is
It's a boner. It's a boner.
No, I'm saying like when's the
no,
last time?
but Quad, therefore her argument is incorrect
you don't.
because you have told me that you could have sex with a woman. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So her argument is let's see. From Stuttering John and Howie, the primary results of OCD is you can't change diapers and drive kids. All right. Definitely Quad has it worse. I'm just saying.
No, stop right there.
It's odd to no. It's odd to say, well, that one's better than that one, and that one's better than that one. It's like, and that's what I told my therapist. I said, why do you have to say, well, you can walk, but this is bullshit. They all are disabilities. Thank you. It's okay to have a healthy debate. And again, you're right. There's no comparison, but I'm just trying to say OCD is not fun. Star Patrick's. Would you rather have OCD or be totally paralyzed? See, you're not getting the point. Obviously, I'd rather have OCD. The point is, the reason why I said to Quadfather, not to him, after he porn bombed me and said F the N's and J's and something awful about our then president, I could have lost my channel where I make 6 figures. So he could have taken down my income. And then I made that comment that he's in a wheelchair prison. Now, that was a retaliatory comment based on his actions. Capiche? No, I don't think OCD is worse for me than being paralyzed.
I have a mental issue. And unfortunately, I inherited that mental issue from my father. And unfortunately, I handed that mental issue down to my children. We all suffer from OCD on different levels. Some of my kids are better at it than others. Some are not. I am on the extreme spectrum of OCD.
No, I don't think OCD is worse for me than being paralyzed.
There you go.
I mean, I have the worst form of OCD. You understand? No, I don't think OCD is worse for me than being paralyzed. Forget what they said, but it's fucking, they've never seen it before. That's how massive the OCD is. Worst cases of OCD involve debilitating compulsions and obsessions that consume hours daily, leading to severe impairment in work, school, and relationships, manifesting as endless washing until skin bleeds, extreme checking, intrusive violent thoughts, or mental rituals that paralyze daily functioning, often requiring intensive treatment like therapy, medication, or even brain surgery. These severe forms cripple a person's life, making basic tasks impossible and isolating them, with individuals feeling trapped in horrific mental loops. Severe OCD can be life-destroying, leading to hospitalizations, academic failure, social isolation, and profound suffering as the disorder hijacks a person's life and sense of self. So who the fuck are you to tell me that OCD is not fucking bad? Shame on you. No, I don't think OCD is worse for me than being paralyzed. But OCD is a debilitating disorder. There are people who won't leave the house, won't leave the bathroom. You know, it could be really hard on people. But to sit there and equate which is worse, in my opinion, being paralyzed is worse. But let me ask you, Star, would you rather be blind or paralyzed? Would you rather be deaf or blind? These are questions that are not going to be answered the same by every individual. Some might choose being paralyzed over being blind. Some might choose being blind over being paralyzed. We don't know. It's up to the individual. Some would say that people with OCD are in a prison. It's true. Clearwater Gacy thinks what the quad says.
Oh, no.
Prison. I am in an OCD prison.
Fucking shit.
All right, here, Abby, you ready? No, I don't want to show. But I'll show you. Yeah, hold on.
Is he gonna go turn a light switch on and off 3 times?
No.
Sorry about that. I know you don't like people talking about that. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, yeah. It bothers you so much you wouldn't shut up about it for 20 minutes. Right. Got it.
I pulled out when I could.
One
just like your
dude.
No.
There is the OCD prison. There is the OCD prison.
Yeah, it's a lot like the prison I'm in too. I understand.
There is me.
You're doing it too quiet.
There is me in the OCD prison. You see, that's how it works. It is a prison. It's a horrible prison. So, whatever. Anyway, 22. Quadriplegic is the same as OCD, maybe. Yeah, I already said it's not the same, but both are a prison of some kind. That's all I'm saying. When you have extreme OCD, it is a prison. Now, granted, like I said, I don't think that it's the same, but all, disorders, disabilities, they do have that horrible thing that happens to someone's brain. Thank you. Okay. Real Sirline, can you tell us about how OCD is bad as paralysis? Okay. It's not as bad as paralysis, but in certain situations, there are people. OCD is a virtual prison. You are in prison. So the analogy I was making is someone in a wheelchair is in a prison. Someone who can't get out of a chair or can't leave a bathroom because his mind won't let him is also in a prison. Now, do I think being in a wheelchair is much worse? Yes. But I will say OCD is debilitating. Thank you. Do you have any OCD tendencies?
No, I'm prone to anxiety. I can be, but no. And things that I feel like I have to do that I've said, like, I have OCD propensities or tendencies, but no, I think like the real OCD is like a thing. I think I just have things where, like I need certain, like I close the door to the living room when I go to sleep. Like I can't go to sleep and leave dishes in the sink. Like, but that's also something I call doing favors for future Ashley. Like I don't want to wake up with dishes in the sink and etc etc. But yeah, there's a certain level. It comes like I wash my hands a lot, whatever. But there's a certain like hygiene thing for me that I have noticed not everyone that I've spent time with shares. Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, I would go on a limb and say 80% of humans have some form of OCD. Howard Stern had OCD. I used to watch him do his rituals. Jay Leno has OCD. I watched him do his rituals. Howie Mandel. And there are plenty of baseball players. Wade Boggs. Nomar Garcia-Parra. Just watch what they do at the plate. Look at all the pitchers who jump over the line. Bill Parcells wouldn't pick up any pennies that were on tails in his office. There are plenty of ball players. Mark the Bird Fidrich. Look at all the rituals when they're up at the plate. Keep tightening their batting gloves. Do you really believe the batting gloves somehow got loosened? Or is it a ritual? David Lee Roth once said to me, when I was at one of his gigs, he looked at me. I was with my wife at the time. And he said, so you're a C2, huh? He picked it off. He knew immediately that I had OCD. And when he said 2, that acknowledged he had it as well. Some people can be functional, like Howard Stern and Jay Leno and myself and David Lee Roth and Howie Mandel. And Wade Boggs and Omar Garcia-Parra. But some can't. Some can't even get out of their houses. But no, I think being paralyzed is much worse.
You compared OCD to being a quadriplegic. No, I said we're both in a prison. Obviously quadriplegic is way worse. But, there are some people that can't get out of a fucking bathroom being as OCD as I. And let me say, just to think, to accuse somebody of to me, and I'm sorry, I'm like, when Vince, why would you care? Because it's like, and I can't compare it to Quadfather because obviously being blind and like I said to my therapist, being deaf and being in a wheelchair is way worse. But it's trying to say that somebody who suffers from PTSD is lying just to benefit their arguments.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was gonna. I don't know if he just has I don't want him to have an elementary view of OCD, but maybe he just thinks it's just this one-dimensional thing where people are just there's 2 kind of versions of OCD, and they're diametrically opposed from each other, but they are just as debilitating. Not as debilitating as being quadriplegic.
There are 2 types of OCD. There is the slob type, and there is the neat type. And I am the slob type. Place is nice. I have more than enough room. I have a big place. I don't need a lot. I really don't. And I like this place. I like the neighborhood. I like that it's gated. It's clean. It's very clean. Why everyone's so shocked that my turlets would be clean?
Turlets?
Yeah. After I take a dump, I take the scrub brush, if there's any fucking residue, and I fucking clean it off.
Yeah, see, that's right. I'm blessed. I got a wife that goes and cleans the toilets every day, so I don't have to. If I mess it, she cleans up after me. So.
Yeah, and I got friends who come over all the time, so I don't want to have a fucking shit stained turlet.
Yeah,
You don't pay anyone to clean the house anymore, do you, John?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. The same neighbors.
The same what?
You had
You
your
had
friends come over
neighbors.
last year. They cleaned your house real good. I remember that. That
Yeah.
was, yeah, I remember that. They did a good job on the house. They stayed with you for a couple of days, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because of the hurricane.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you get hit by the hurricane?
We didn't get no major damage, but we had a lot of wind and a lot of water flooding in Tampa area, a lot of flooding in certain areas. So
Yeah.
You had a little bit.
hopefully
of
we make it
controversy
this
there.
year without nothing. We got another 8 weeks of hurricane season. So far, so good. So
There it is, Bob too. Thanks for being a member. Duke's got OCD. Of course he has to clean the toilet. Yes. Trevor, you should see what I have to do with my ass when I take a shit.
Yeah, but why don't you
mean-
clean your house?
No, I
Like
do
your
clean the
floors
house.
and shit.
No, I do. The other day I was sleeping up, because I usually eat on the coffee table, where I watch TV, and then some food gets on there, and then I get sweep it up.
Clay, I'm going to tell you a little ritual of mine. I'll let this, another OCD thing for me. I have 3 Facebook accounts. Follow me now. I have 3 Facebook accounts. So my OCD dictates I have to visit each page 4 times. So let's say I go to Facebook and I have to play 4 games of backgammon. So I'll go to Facebook page number 1. I'll go play backgammon like I did today. Then I'll leave Facebook page 1, go to Facebook page 2, where I don't have the backgammon set up. Then I'll leave Facebook page 2, go to Facebook page 3. Then I'll play backgammon. Then I'll leave Facebook, go to Twitter. Now, if somebody DMs me on Twitter, I'll read them, but I'm not allowed to respond yet. I can't respond until I finish the 4 visits. So then I leave Twitter, go back to Facebook page 1, play another game of backgammon. Then I go to Facebook page 2, and then I go to Facebook page 3, play another game of backgammon. Backgammon's done. Now that's the 2 visits, but I still got to do 2 more. Then I go back to Twitter. Let's say I got another DM. I can read it, but I can't respond. Not until I finish the 4. I can't even retweet. I can't even tweet anything. Not until I finish the 4 visits. Then I go back to Facebook page 1, go back to Facebook page 2, go back to Facebook page 3, go back to Twitter. Then I go back to Facebook page 1, go back to Facebook page 2, then go back to Facebook page 3, then go back to Twitter. Now, with all that OCD, all the rituals, I might forget that somebody DM'd me. Because now it's not lit up. You have a new message. Now I forget, go on with my day, and I essentially ignored your DM. Not saying that's what happened this time, but it does happen an awful lot. It's just my OCD rituals, man. Sorry. But it is.
Hello?
Who reached out to who?
I reached out to you many times. And by the way, John, when you were sending that email to my AOL, we never spoke on AOL. Those messages you keep threatening to reveal, which you've already revealed. Like twice. You've already done this. They're all from Facebook. So if you wanted to reach out to me, you could have just used Facebook. It's right there. You're in Mensa.
Mensa. And so that AOL is not you?
No, we never spoke on AOL. And I think you know that.
No. When I looked up Adam Bush on my Gmail, that's what came up.
We're connected on every other Instagram, Twitter. We're connected on all of these things. You couldn't have just sent it to one of those?
Adam.
What?
I have stated 1 billion times. I go on Facebook 3 times for each
We're
account.
connected on Instagram and X. You didn't think of any of those places? It says Facebook on the messages you keep holding up. It says Facebook.
Adam, I have OCD. I go on my Facebook. I go on it 4 times each one.
The messages you had said Facebook. You could have just done a 5th time and reached out. You can't.
No, I will not go on it again after I do it. That's my OCD.
That is
You
the
can
most
say I
convenient
ignore it.
OCD symptom I've ever heard in my life. Is it going to come up every time there's an issue? You're going to say, "Oh, it's OCD
No, I
that
don't
controls
go on
this."
Facebook. I don't.
You're defending
Facebook-
your kids' rights, and you can't go on Facebook one more time to defend their honor because I'm such a, me and all those people that trash your kids. That's what you're what? That's what you're defending, buddy.
Then apparently I said that something about my kid having mental issues. I have a mental issue. And unfortunately, I inherited that mental issue from my father. And unfortunately, I handed that mental issue down to my children. We all suffer from OCD on different levels. Some of my kids are better at it than others. Some are not. I am on the extreme spectrum of OCD. When they viewed my brain at Columbia University, in their medical department, their doctors, when they saw the amount of activity in the frontal lobe of the OCD brain, want to read about it, read a book called Brain Lock. When they saw how serious my OCD was, they said it was off the charts. Off the charts. That's how bad my OCD is. When I walk upstairs right now, coming up my mother's stairs, when I walk upstairs, I'm counting. I'm counting. Not only am I counting, I'll breathe in 2 steps and out 2 steps. 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 I do that when I walk in the gym. I do that all the time. When I drove from LA to New York, I would sometimes breathe in on a sign on the highway and then breathe out on the next sign. Sometimes I would hold my breath for maybe 20 seconds until I get to the next sign. That's how bad my mental issue is. So if you think, now granted, would I want to say OCD is a mental issue? No. I've managed to achieve a hell of a lot with this disability. But yes, my father had it. I have it. Some of my kids have it. That's fair. Nothing nefarious, nothing bad. It's just OCD. And a lot of you think I'm just trying to, how do you say, exaggerate, for lack of a better word? No, I'm not. I wouldn't wish OCD on my worst enemy. Howard Stern can relate. He can relate. And there are other people that can relate to what I'm saying. Any person afflicted with OCD can relate. They can. It's debilitating. It's disruptive. Oh, when I was even having my children with my ex-wife, the amount of OCD was through the roof. Through the roof. I had to have the right thought in my head before I got into bed. Oh, you have no idea. This has been debilitating. But I haven't let it stop me, and I won't. I refuse to succumb to things of this nature. I refuse to let stuttering get in the way of who I wanted to be. And I refuse to let OCD do the same thing. So again, When I talk about a mental issue, that's the mental issue. I'm not making it up. It's the truth. I'm not going to out my kids on anything other than OCD. I'm not going to say how bad, how extreme, how not. I'm just going to say, when you're in a private conversation with a friend, if I would say to Hitman Dan, yeah, my father has OCD, I got OCD, some of my kids have OCD. It's like, yeah, you don't expect Hitman Dan to go out and break a HIPAA law, which, I'm sure you guys know what that is. Disclose a mental diagnosis. But Kate Meany didn't care about that. Kate Meany decided, doesn't mean anything. It does. It does. I would never say, I probably have said in the past, maybe, that unfortunately, we all have, OCD is burnt strong in my family. It does. It does. And unfortunately, it does. Has it prevented any of my children from being who they are? I don't know. I'm not going to tell you how extreme or not extreme. I'm just going to say that, OCD is a thing. It's an affliction that, unfortunately, it's a genetic affliction that has been passed down to me. And unfortunately, it's going to be passed down to my kids and be passed down to my grandkids. It's just OCD. But again, did I want this? Did I want any of this to get out? No. But these guys think it's okay. I'm not going to lie to you and say that, I've never said that. Of course. I'm sure I did. Sure I did. But the problem is not that. The problem is I didn't know I was being recorded. Herein lies the biggest problem. The biggest problem out of them all. There is the biggest problem. I didn't know I was being recorded. I didn't know that somebody was that horrible inside, that broken, that they would record and then release tapes of private conversations to people that want to destroy me, destroy my family, destroy my life. I did not know that. I wouldn't think of ever doing that to anybody in the world. My worst of enemies. I would never do that. It's not in my nature. I'm not somebody that is that angry with their own life that I feel better about myself to destroy somebody else's. Not me. Sorry. These guys could go and say what an asshole I am all they want. They could be mad at Ray DeVito for saying that I'm a good guy. They could be mad at Dirty Deeds for saying I'm a good guy. And look what they're doing to Clay Dabler right now. Look what they're doing to Clay Dabler. He said it best. It's easier to be your enemy than it is to be your friend. And that's why I applaud people like Ray DeVito and Dirty Deeds. Because they took it. Oh, did they take the abuse for saying something nice about me? They did. They were just being honest. But how horrible of this universe is it that you have to be commended for just telling the truth about somebody? Think about how pathetic that is. Seriously, I know it's hard to reason with idiots. And you look at Penis Wrinkle. He's an idiot. You look at, I want to run my fingers through Zen's beard. He's an idiot. Look at Mike's shitty internet provider. He's an idiot. Because if they don't know what they're doing is bad, if they don't know what they're doing is horrible human behavior, then they have a severe mental issue. Wouldn't you say? Enough about my OCD, enough about my father's, my kids, whatever. Look at their mental issues, shall we? I mean, if you record somebody without their consent and give it out and be proud of it, I would consider that a serious mental issue. Way worse than OCD. My OCD hurts one person, me. Me. My father's OCD hurt one person, him. Him. But what Kate Meany did hurt me, hurt my family, and will continue to hurt. It's hard for a man of my intelligence to grasp and realize the fact that these people are so damaged, so really dead inside, that they enjoy this, that they feel it's cool to beat up one guy who provided most of them with laughter for a large part of their lives. Yes, I'm the entertainer.
Yeah. Hit the like,